So, Jerusalem is in the news again. Get your coffee. I'm sure you've noticed that we are living through strange and interesting times. And today just so happens to be a historic anniversary. On May 14th, 1948, the modern state of Israel was effectively reborn in one day. And that's an amazing thing. For those that don't believe in predictive prophecy, 2,800-year-old predictive prophecy, it's hard not to see that the prophet Isaiah seemed to foretell such a thing nearly 3,000 years ago. And not just Isaiah, other Old and New Testament writers appear to allude to the same thing, Israel becoming a nation in the last days, which is one of the reasons that I believe in and hold to a futurist view on Bible prophecy. The short summation of that is that I believe that there are things that have been written in the scriptures that are still yet to come to pass. I try to be rather measured and careful in my interpretation of those things. I don't really like speculative YouTube eschatology. Hopefully that's not what this would be called. But on May 14th, 1948, the modern state of Israel was reborn after 1,900 years without a homeland. Exiled and dispersed from their land, Jews began regathering at the end of the 19th century, and within about 50 years, even after almost being completely obliterated through the Second World War, they became a nation once again. Of course, there are many who decry the modern state of Israel as not being the same as the ancient Israel that we read of in the scriptures, but call it what you will, descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are gathered as a people in the land of Israel, speaking the Hebrew language after their temple was destroyed in 70 AD, and they were expelled from Judea in the early 2nd century AD. Believe it or not, that's pretty phenomenal. And so is the fact that the prophet Zechariah, some 2,500 years ago, looked forward to a day when all the nations of the world would look upon Jerusalem as a heavy, immovable stone which seems to cause issue for the whole world. So there's that. And once again, on this 73rd anniversary of Israel becoming a nation once again, Israel is in the news. And I think it's proper, whatever your views may be, to remind you of the words of the psalmist from Psalm 122, verse 6. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May they prosper who love you. Something to think about. We'll see you next time.